Greetings everyone. This session is about integrating NWEA maps testing into MobyMax. I'm in MobyMax right now. I've hijacked a teacher's class so you can see what it looks like with real data. You'll notice this one is in the prior version, the old called classic version, which is going away this summer. It goes away August 1st, 2023. So you really need to switch to the new one. So I'm just going to click up here, switch, because otherwise next time you log in, it just may be different. And I'll close that. It actually works a little better, so I like it. Now, there are 3 steps if you've never done this before, but I'm also going to start out with showing you how you can check to see if you've got NWEA map integration turned on. To do that, you're going to go down here to settings, and then you're going to go to default settings for all students, which is right up here. Then we're going to click modules, and you can see that this math came up pre-selected is set to initial placement test, start with NWEA math growth results, and start at the growth instructional areas. Perfect. If I come down to ELA, learning and then language, it should say the same thing, and it does. So this is done, and this teacher doesn't have to do anything else. You should probably, everybody check this at the beginning of the year, because I'm not sure how rollover is going to affect it. But if you don't have that set, and I won't actually change his, but another thing, at the beginning of the year, if this is already set, you're still going to have to set yourself as the principal teacher, which is step 2 in the next section. So that is because school leadership teams set up, in some schools, not in all of them, they set up a lot of co-teachers. They may have a special ed teacher, they may have an intervention teacher, a coach, a student teacher. It may be the entire grade level collaboration team is set up as co-teachers so that you can see each other's classes. But all those uses of co-teachers confuses NDAPs. So they don't really know who to make the principal teacher. We don't know how this is going to be in Synergy. We may be able to mark a principal teacher in there that will export, but in Tyler it certainly did not. So you do have to go in and for each student you have in your class, mark yourself as the principal teacher. Otherwise this won't work, because if the teacher in Maps and the teacher in MobyMax is not the same, it breaks down. All right, so let's go back and just assume that we don't have anything set up. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go back into settings. We're going to choose individual student settings this time. I'm going to select all the students and click the Update Student Settings button, and then go to Modules. Now, I'm not going to change this because I've already checked his class and it's set up perfectly. But for those who've never done it, you start students with NWEA map, and then you start students with the growth instructional areas. You click Save. Then you come down to ELA, Learning Language. No, I do not want to save that. And I do the same thing over here. And then I click Save. So that's how you initially set up the initial placement test. Like I said, I'm not changing his because he already has it set up. The second step, remember, this is where you have to go in and set yourself as the primary teacher, or the principal teacher as they call it. Here, I need to go to Roster. It's right down under Key Tools, Roster. And then I'm going to go into Manage Roster, which is the second tab up in the green. At this point, I'm going to click Share Students. It's on the left side, about the 4th one down. And then I'm going to choose the 3rd tab in the new box that says Shared Teachers. And you can see not all of these are done. So he actually had set himself up as the to use NWEA Maps growth, but he didn't do step 2. So when this worked, it didn't work well. So what I need to do is to change that. To change it, I need to click on the student name, and it will come up with every single teacher they have, and make sure this is Jason Meyer's class, so Jason is done. I have to click save. You have to click save each time that you make a change, otherwise it does not. Now you can see this comes up as somebody named Haley, so I'm going to change it back to him. Save. Next student. Save. So it's very important that you do this each and every year if your school is one that uses co-teachers. Sometimes you'll even find that they come in from another school with a teacher you've never heard of. That's okay. Just change them to you. And yes, it is a tedious process, but you only have to do this once. And you see Travis True isn't even a teacher there. Not sure how that came up, but it just kind of does. As I keep going through and everybody looks good, all right, we're fine. So we can get out of that. So we've set Jason to be the principal teacher for all his students. And that part is finished. At this point, I can click the X, and I can go back to this point where it says roster, manage roster. Now, I'm not going to do this whole thing because Jason's already done it and I don't want to reset everything. But under manage roster, there's bulk restart. It's, you click that. You have to choose the subject, so that would be math. And then you would go and click continue. And it says start student with what? Placement test. And you choose NWEA math and the instructional area. And then you click continue. You must do it for math and you must do it for language because those are the only two things in math. So I'm not going to do this because Jason's already done it and I don't want to mess up his test scores. But that is how you integrate maps with MobyMax. Now, I will tell you, at the beginning of the year, one of the things you need to do is the first step, which is check to see if you've got it set up correctly and that NW Maps is the placement test option. And then the next thing you need to do is to go in and make yourself the principal teacher. You're going to have to do that every single year. You shouldn't have to bulk reset or do the setup again. It should remember it. So those are the two things. Anyway, if you have any questions, feel free to give me a call or shoot me an email. My name is Gail Ramirez.